question of the immortality of the nightingale has been much discussed in critical literature. One theory is that the nightingale, what Keats means is that the nightingale as a species is immortal. That doesn't seem to me to wash, because after all, the whole point is that man is mortal and the nightingale's song is immortal. Now, if it was the species of the nightingale, then since we're a species, we would also be immortal. So that doesn't seem to wash. Another theory was that the nightingale is actually the voice of lyric poetry. But if the nightingale symbolises the voice of lyric poetry, then the bird is the poet, and so then the poet has to become immortal. So that doesn't really seem to work. I think my own view is that what Keats may really be trying to communicate is the fact that the nightingale's song remains exactly the same song across time. So, I mean, there's a reference at one point, for example, to Ruth, and did Ruth as in the biblical book of Ruth, did she hear this same sad song? And so I think what one might want to explore is the idea that that exact song that Ruth may have heard in biblical times is the same song that the poet hears. And maybe, whereas poetry is constantly changing, poetry is in flux. Poets are cannibalizing bits of the dead poets and representing poems. It's a sort of constant evolution of language and bits being borrowed and rehashed. But the nightingale song, this pure, clear song, remains immortal. I mean, in addition to that, I think one could also say that the nightingale sings unaware of its mortality, and part of the human condition is our knowledge that our lives will come to an end at a point which we cannot predict, whereas the nightingale can sing and has no knowledge of its own mortality.